Hey, before we start, quick note, this video is part of the Quit Porn Quick Start course. If you're jumping in midway or if this is the first lesson you've seen, pause it and start with the course intro and the first lesson linked below. These videos are designed to be worked through in that order, not binge. All right, let's get into it. Hey, welcome to video 1 of the Quit Porn Quick Start Guide video course. In this course, I'm going to walk you through the Quit Porn Quick Start Guide. It's a book I wrote that's basically the things that I wish I had when I first started trying to quit porn to help set me up for success. And this first lesson is going to be all about telling the truth to yourself and why this is so important and why this is foundational, because you literally can't go on to anything else if you can't be honest with yourself. And this matters because you don't quit porn by motivation. You can't just say, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to quit porn today, and just sort of power through. That doesn't quite work. That's a part of it, but it's not all of it. You quit porn by honesty. In fact, the foremost addiction and trauma experts in the entire world say that the opposite of addiction isn't sobriety, it's connection, it's relationship. It's a depth of relational connection, to use all those words together, that helps you live more fully into who you are, who you're supposed to be, not addicted. And this is key because you can't change what you don't name. So you have to be able to take ownership over what you're struggling with. And to be clear, most men aren't stuck in this because they're weak or they can't do it. It's just because they're vague. That's a big problem. If you're vague about the problem, your results will be vague. If you want specific steps out of this, you have to be specific about what we're dealing with. If you skip this step or rush it, the rest of this guide just sort of settles into theory and it doesn't matter. And if you're like me, you tried 100 times in 100 different ways to quit pornography because we read a book, we consumed content, we heard somebody talking, we're like, that sounds good, cool, I'm gonna go back to normal life, what I'm doing. If we don't change anything, if we don't slow down and take our time through this and follow the steps exactly and participate, and I think what God is inviting you to, you'll miss this. And I know that because for years, I believe that I could change without being honest. So what does telling the truth actually mean? Telling the truth is not just confession. It's not just saying I struggle, because that's not really honest. Like, yeah, you may struggle. Everybody struggles. So what? Honesty is specificity. You have to get specific about the thing. Here's the reality. God already knows. And that's the beautiful thing, is that he already knows. This specifically is about you knowing and agreeing with God about what he already knows about you, not because he wants to condemn you or shame you, but because he is after your heart and he's after your healing. Truth is also not self-hatred. This is not a exercise in shame. How do we just dump more toxic shame on ourselves? Toxic shame specifically says you didn't just do something bad. You are bad. You are a piece of crap. You are worthless. And when you believe that, you sabotage your future self from actually believing and dreaming and hoping that any success can come from this. So that has to start there. Healthy shame says, I need help. It's an exercise in humility. It's inviting others in. Toxic shame hides and isolates. The truth reveals and invites people in, people that love us so that we can be loved. So don't attack yourself. Just remember, we always have a choice. And the idea is that by telling the truth, you are reclaiming your own agency and you're reclaiming your choice. Truth restores agency. Porn, like we said, thrives in vagueness. When you tell the truth, when you own it, when you're honest, it gets you into specificity and it keeps you out of vagueness, specifically because clarity slows compulsion. When you can slow down and when you can take a deep breath and get clear about what the thing actually is, it prevents you from going to things compulsively, which is the idea behind an addiction. It's this compulsive thing that we relate to the thing in a compulsive manner, meaning our thoughts aren't really engaged, our bodies aren't engaged, our hearts aren't engaged. It's just, I feel a thing, I'm not aware of it, so I'm just reacting, I'm just constantly reacting. So being able to name that gives you leverage over that again. Remember this, porn takes power when it stays unnamed. So when you name it, you take agency and ownership back. Porn is a pattern, not a mistake. This is going to be a tricky thing to wrap your mind around, but if you can do it, this will change everything. Porn use follows a predictable sequence. It's a ritual. You have some sort of ritual or pattern with your porn use. Is it a certain time of the day? Is it a certain place? Is it when you're feeling a specific emotion? Is it when you're angry? Is it when you're lonely? Is it when you're hurt or sad? Is it a specific environment? These are things that we have to pay attention to because they're educating us about what's actually going on under the surface. It's important for you to grasp this because it's not random, it's just rehearsed. Patterns are rehearsed behaviors. You rehearsed your way into it. The good news is that you're not stuck. You can reverse your way out of it. So here are some examples of what those places could be. Late at night with your phone in bed, that's a tricky spot to be. That's a place, that's a specific time. Alone time or unstructured time, a gap in your schedule open up and you just find yourself alone with your phone and nothing to do, that can be dangerous. After a particularly stressful or conflict-ridden situation, maybe where you experience some disappointment, that's oftentimes the fertile soil where pornography can seem appealing. Another time is when maybe we're avoiding something uncomfortable or some form of conflict that we just don't want to deal with. Porn is an easy distraction that we can go to and just sort of numb out and ignore that. Why this matters? Because you can't interrupt what you don't recognize. So we have to start recognizing and understanding our ritual, because patterns reveal where the intervention is possible. If you're not paying attention to what's happening, you have no idea how to even start to tackle the problem. A way that I think about this is thinking about the battle against pornography as a war. Wars aren't won in one giant major big battle. They're typically made up of lots of smaller battles that win those battles. When more battles are won than lost, the sum total of that is the winning of the war. So think about your battle with pornography like that. Here's the thing about battles. You can't win all of them. You probably won't win all of them. That's okay. Yeah, it sucks that you lost, but what did you learn? It's only a failure if you go, oh, I lost the battle this time. That sucks. I don't want to deal with this. I'm going to quit and do something else. Well, yeah, of course, you just gave up the war. But if you stay honed in and you focus and you go, I lost that battle. Let me backtrack and analyze every part of it so I can figure out what went wrong, where the strategy broke down, and how I can change and pivot my strategy so that on the next battle, I've got something different that I can do. What's the definition that they say about insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Do something different, then you can expect different results. The key point here is that we don't break habits necessarily with intensity, but we break them with awareness. When you pay attention, you can understand what's going on. The next part of this is what I call counting the cost, and this is kind of where it can get uncomfortable, but this is incredibly effective, if you can stay honed in and focused, because porn always costs us something. Even if it feels like relief in the moment, we're paying something to pornography. Our attention, our time, our energy, our integrity, our intimacy, our ambition, our presence. We're giving up something when we go to pornography, because pornography is always taking us out of the present moment. If you do this right, you'll recognize what porn is taking from you, and that can be really painful. But what I want you to hear is that this isn't about dumping more guilt on yourself. Like you did something wrong. Obviously, we're here because we're sensing that level of guilt. But it's not about dumping toxic guilt on you where you just feel an unnecessary amount of guilt to where that prevents you from moving forward. The point is that it's all about getting honest. And when we get honest, sometimes that causes us pain because we recognize what we've lost. It can cause other people in our life pain because we realize what we've given up on their behalf. It sucks, but you can't move forward unless we slow down and own that and grieve it, because you can't reclaim what you won't grieve. This is important, because the bottom line is that if porn hasn't cost you anything, you probably wouldn't be here. I recognized this early in my story. What I was giving up was my attention and time and focus with my wife, who's pregnant with our first daughter. I was totally distracted from that season with a lot of other stressful things that were going on in life. Porn was an easy escape, and I hid it really well because it started long before I met her, and I carried that into our marriage and my job as a pastor. There was a season where I was on autopilot, just trying to get through it rather than slow down and enjoy it and pay attention to what was there. And I missed a lot. Telling the truth is others oriented. Yes, you have to be honest with yourself, but then we have to speak that truth to someone else. That's what makes us relational. And if you follow Nick and I in our podcast or our content for a long time, the thing that we consistently say over and over and over and over and over again is that you cannot do this alone. It's not that you can't try to do it alone. You certainly can, but it's not ever going to work. Truth spoken internally is incomplete. Healing requires you to be known. That means showing up with other people, being present, and disclosing parts of yourself. And that's not necessarily for the sake of getting advice from people. What you need is presence. You're borrowing the safe presence of another person. And this does a ton of things on the neuroscience level that's helping regulate your nervous system. But here's what you need to know. Trust is earned and not assumed. Just because somebody shows up to church or that you've known for a long time that has been consistent in your life does not automatically make them a safe, trustworthy person. Safety does not equal availability. You need to know that. Not everyone gets access to your story. Not everyone deserves access to your story, because sometimes those people can abuse that privilege. They can hurt you with what you share. And if you've been hiding a pornography addiction for a long time, you probably already assume this about most people anyway. If I tell them this thing about me, they will reject me, they will leave me, they will hate me, they won't want me. So we keep this internally and we hide that. And when we do, we cut ourselves off from being loved, being known, and being cared for, and actually getting out of this. So here's what you need to know. Telling your whole story to someone does not equate to every detail, and honesty is not necessarily oversharing, but it is telling the truth, because the truth loses its power when it stays locked inside of you. What does Jesus say about the truth? When you tell the truth, it sets you free. So tell the truth. So here's what I want you to do. If you have the quick start guide up in front of you, if you've downloaded the worksheet that comes with the back of that first part, these are the action steps that I want you to slow down and really take your time here. This is going to be one of the most important foundational things you do, because if you move on to 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're going to have this as the foundation for what you do there. So make sure you slow down, stop, take your time here, post in the school community, get help if you have questions or if you need clarification on what this is. But I want you to write out your ritual. Spend some time reflecting and thinking, what is your ritual? When do you typically act out? Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? Is it the middle of the day? Where do you typically act out? Is it in a bathroom in your home? Is it your bed? Is it in a bathroom at work? Is it in your car? Where is it? Where are you typically acting out? What's your emotional state? What are you feeling when you act out? That might take a little more work to sort that out, especially if you're a dude and you've grown up in our culture. We have distorted relationships with our feelings and our emotions, so I know they can get tricky. If you need help sorting that out, again, post in the school community, we'll help you out. But what are you feeling? There's a feelings chart that I'm attaching to this. You can download it, but it's the 8 feelings. Pick one of those core feelings in the middle and just notice which one of these am I feeling? Is it loneliness? Is it anger, sadness, hurt? What is it? Guilt, shame? What are you feeling typically when you go to pornography? And to coincide with that, what's actually happening before you use porn? Is it a particular moment of stress? Is it a particular person that causes some stress or some anxiety that you're feeling you need to escape from? This is all part of the process, and this is part of your ritual. So make sure you write this down as clear and as detailed as you possibly can. That's going to help you. Number 2, I want you to write out the cost. Like we talked about a second ago, you have to get really honest and be specific about what porn has taken from you. What have you given up? What have you traded for the sake of numbing out and ignoring life? Make a list, make a detailed list. Is it relationships? Is it time? Is it energy? Is it a job? Is it your integrity? Is it your dignity? What is it? What has porn taken you? The next part is I want you to name somebody. Now, this is going to be really important because this is somebody who we're going to invite on the journey to do this with you. We always say, don't do it alone. We have to start by getting someone in the weeds with us. If you don't have that person, spend some time figuring out who that safe person is in your life. This is somebody who's steady, consistent, who can show up and be present with you in your pain without necessarily trying to fix you or shame you. Finding safe people can be tricky, but if you're unsure, start noticing who in my life is safe, who's there, who is a safe, non-judgmental, curious presence that I can go to, who will be with me and not just try to fix me or clean me up or immediately interrupt me and tell me how they're struggling. That's not always helpful. And then the next thing I want you to do is set a deadline for yourself. When will you get with this person and share your story with them? I want this to be super practical and helpful. And if you skip this one tiny part of this, none of this matters because you'll do this all alone. You'll just watch another video course, you'll jot some notes down, and you'll move on with life and nothing will change. So get specific, get concrete, and take action, because insight without action is just another form of lying. It's self-deception. That's what got you here. It's not going to get you out. So here's what's coming in the next videos. Step 1 exposes the pattern. The next video in step 2, it's going to explain why this pattern exists. And here's what I want you to remember. Do not move on until you've written the things down that we've talked about in this video. If you need to pause and rewind and go back, do that. Here's what you got to remember. Stay with the discomfort. If you're feeling that this is not easy, this is frustrating, I don't really want to do this, you're feeling how most of us feel. This is not supposed to be easy. Truth is not the end of the work. It's just the doorway. You've opened a door to something new, to something different, and you're going to have to do something new and something different to keep working forward. Okay, see you in the next video. Hey, real quick, before you go, don't let this stop at insight. The next step is to continue with the next video in the playlist and stay connected while you do this work. You'll find a link below to join the free school community where you can process this, ask questions, and mainly don't do this alone. So take the next step when you're ready.